Welcome back to The Elegant Life. Today I'm doing a little bit of a deep dive into feminine energy and how much do we need to be able to live a life that feels fulfilling, healthy, purposeful, impactful, full of abundance and full of love and connection. Basically what I call an elegant life. How much do we need of that feminine energy? Because there's a lot of people that talk about feminine energy, and I think we can get an idea that we just need to be totally in our warm, soft, nurturing energy all the time. This is not true. I'm going to share an example from my life currently where I realized, whoa, I started out living too much in my masculine life, and then I went to my feminine and I realized that there was something missing. So stay tuned because I'm going to share, we're going to deep dive. Basically, we're going to have a good old girl chat. So if you followed my journey at all, you know that I was living mainly in my life up until around the age of 40, a little after 40, in my full-on masculine energy. It was almost like a badge of honor. Look how tough I am. Look at anything. I don't need anybody. I can take care of myself. I can do everything by myself. I'm going to make things happen and I will not stop until I make these things happen. It was just so masculine. Then I softened and I realized that I needed some of that feminine in there. And that's when my life felt like it started to blossom. And that is also when I started to grow even more. I became even more impactful. I became more abundant. All my teachings were being shared all over the world. So it was amazing. And then there came a time when I was living in Dubai and first couple of years here when we lived in Turkey, where there was a lot going on in the world, and I was needed more than ever from the outside world, but also in my internal little family. Everybody needed me. So I was like giving, so much giving, which is a masculine energy. And while that felt amazing because I could see the impact I was having in people's lives, slowly but surely, it was imbalanced again. And I started to deplete and the joy started going out of my life. And all my body wanted was to go into the feminine, which is a more passive energy, which is more needing rest energy, needing to come back into my body. Like it was just really requiring that. And so I tested it for a while because I was like, well, what am I going to do? I can't fully quit things. So I took a little piece of it away, and then I felt, how does that feel? It wasn't enough. Then I took another piece away. How does that feel? My body wanted me to truly go into my feminine energy. And this all happened around the same time that I'm going to be very open and very honest with you here. My husband and I are in a period of time, probably for the last 4 years, where we are really in the midst of that next manifestation of the next period of our lives, that next vision of our lives. And there's been up and down moments where I have felt, when is this coming? Like, you know, I'm a pretty good manifester. So like, what's going on with this? What's up with this, universe? And yet, after you have that little bit of a tantrum, you say, okay, if it's not here, then there's something within me that is not a match to it, right? We always have to ask ourselves that question. And so I asked that question and I didn't receive it immediately, but one morning when I was doing my Start Your Day with Elegance and Flow meditation, there's that section. Any of you who do that meditation, you know that section. It is all about the manifestation. And all of a sudden when I was doing it, it hit me that that version that I've been seeing for the last, I don't know how many years it was, she didn't feel internally about herself and her life like I was currently feeling. She wasn't living a day like I was currently living. The internal feelings were not there. They were not a match. And I went, aha. It was like a light bulb moment went off in my head and I realized, wow, okay, that is more of a feminine energy, and I am in more of my masculine now. So I have to reorganize my life, and I have to practice feeling that way. That is the way that I become a match. And so that's what I did. I surrendered so deeply into my feminine that I basically, as you saw here on the YouTube channel even, it was progressive, but I finally just kind of went away. I went all off social media, all off YouTube, everything for about 5 or 6 months because I was shocked at how I could not be in my feminine energy. So I had to practice it. Do you know how many months it took me to sit on the sofa and not have my body just kind of go like this, just like unconsciously, like, is there something to do? What am I missing? Maybe I'm missing a client call. Like, it was so in my nervous system that I could not relax. I could not be in that restful energy. And that told me that's the reason. That's the reason I needed to practice this. So beautiful. It was an amazing experience. And then I went into that energy fully, and I actually was almost thinking, am I actually even going to come back to work at all? But then, as the universe works, as everything in nature works, there is this constant balance between masculine and feminine energy. We have both those energies in us, okay? And so only being in one never works. Nothing in nature just works like this. It works like this. And so the energies that we have in us need to be flowed between. Sometimes our masculine, sometimes our feminine. Sometimes we'll be way more in our feminine, and sometimes we'll need to be a little bit more in our masculine. But 100% will never give you that level of satisfaction. Let me describe to you what the feminine energy really is. So feminine energy is that negative charge which pulls things into your life. It is about the heart being receptive, enjoying and pleasure. It is a soft energy. It is about connection. It is about warmth. It is all about your inner world. It is about attraction. It is emotional, feeling, empathetic. It's about being passive. It's more of the resting part of us. The masculine is the doing part, and we need that. The feminine is more the resting. It is also about your body. It is also about being creative, nurturing, collaborative, intuitive. It's all about the process, not just the goal. The goal is very masculine. The process is the feminine, and it's about being flexible. What I was doing was going way into my feminine, which meant I was being very nurturing to myself and my family. I was resting a lot. I was kind of doing some creative things, so that was fun. I was deeply going into the enjoyment of life, the pleasure of life, and I was in big time receptive mode because I was like, what is the next stage of purpose for me? Is this going to be it, or am I still going to serve? And do I want that even? Like, I was really, really into deep receiving mode and just allowing it to all come to me. And then that level of passiveness started to feel unfulfilling. Okay, this is how nature works. We've got these two energies. And yes, was I doing? Was I giving? Was I in my masculine? Of course. But there's parts of us that we have to really lean into too. And this is where my program, Unlock Your Codes, comes in, because my codes have within me very, very certain and strong codes where my destiny and my calling is about teaching. It's truly in my codes. And if I'm not doing that, I am not being the fullest expression of myself. That's why I say that that program is like a must go through for every woman as well, because it will help you identify what you are coded to do and enjoy and expand in this lifetime. And then it creates the path and the guideposts for how you move through your life to do that. And so it was very, very insightful. I kind of almost went back through the course myself and was like, wow, okay, so this is where this bit of unfulfillment is coming from. So how could I lean into that and yet still have this that is so in alignment with that vision that I have for myself? And that took time to receive. And then when it did, it was like you can do your YouTube videos in a totally different style. And you don't have to plan so much. It can just be very free flowing. You can teach, but you can also do it as you live your life. And actually, women might enjoy that even more. And from your feedback, you've quite enjoyed this new style of video from me. Even the way in which I work, I leaned into what year I'm in numerologically, which is a number 2. And that is all about collaborations. People just keep coming out of the woodwork to work with me, but for them to do all the setup and the structure and me just to show up and provide my wisdom. I mean, does that not fit perfectly? So I leaned into those energies. So this is what I'm saying. It's so important to understand the feminine. And yet if you don't truly learn how to flow between the two, you'll be so much in the feminine that actually you'll have all these dreams and these desires, but nothing will really happen because you're not taking the action, putting it out there, which is the masculine. The feminine can also be a very chaotic energy where you're constantly changing things and you're trying different things and you're never setting a little bit of a consistent structure for yourself. So you see, we need both to be able to live this elegant life that we desire. We do not want it to be too imbalanced, because then we can become the out of balance female, which is like the damsel in distress, wanting all of this for our life and yet just kind of this chaotic bundle of energy where nothing is manifesting in your life. And let me tell you, if nothing is truly manifesting in your life that you desire, it's very, very possible that you need to learn how to live in your divine feminine energy. The divine feminine energy is a woman who has both masculine and feminine, mainly feminine, but knows when to use the masculine. Let's just say you're doing a meditation, you're being receptive, and you receive the instinct to connect with someone. But then you say, oh, maybe I should call my other friend because I haven't called my other friend in a long time. And then you just completely forget. And that big energy of momentum that was put in you just drains away and goes away. And then you never do it. And then you get down on yourself because you see everybody else living their lives and manifestations are happening, but it's not happening for you. Well, that's why. That's why. One of the big factors involved in being able to live this 80% feminine and 20 masculine is something that I taught at the Power of Value. And I've really not taught that anywhere else. And I realized just from the feedback that I continue to receive from that one talk that I did, how powerful and how life-changing it was for people. I need to provide that information to you. Now, I can't do it in just little short videos. I need to do it like as a holistic masterclass, like as if you were there with me at the Power of Value. So I'm going to almost do a repeat performance of that talk in a masterclass. I'm working with my assistant to get all the little structures set up so that I can show up and share the wisdom with you. So stay tuned for that. Hit the like button to show me that you're interested in that topic, and also subscribe so that you get information as to when you can sign up for that masterclass, okay? This is key, ladies. It could actually hold the key as to what has been stopping you from being able to manifest or being able to live the life that is most fulfilling for you. But certainly just hanging out 100% in your feminine is not the key. Keep this teaching in mind this week. Just soak it up and ruminate this week and see what ahas you have about your own life. And I'll see you next week.